So the Sonic franchise is one I hold near and dear to my heart, and honestly, at the moment, I'm kind of worried about it. I'm kind of worried with the direction it's going and the state it is currently at right now, and I kind of want to just give you my thoughts and provide my feedback to Sega, who may hopefully watch this, and maybe they could learn, maybe they could think about what I say here, because I do want to offer stuff that could help them. I've mainly got two key components as to what could help them. Don't take my word on this 100%, I don't totally understand how the business side of things works, but I just want to give my thoughts out there anyways, because why not? I can't really lose anything from it, so let's just toss my things out there. So one of my issues right now with Sonic is that he's just kind of quiet, you know. He barely has any new things coming out recently. He's got mobile games, and he did recently have the movie, but that's really the extent of it all. Everything outside of that is just kind of non-existent. The mainline games barely exist. We got Sonic Forces and we got Sonic Mania in the same year. That was pretty tight. Then we got Team Sonic Racing, which was a spin-off racing game 2 years later. And I think that's kind of an issue there. So I want to offer possibly a solution, and this is like stupidly obvious, but in my opinion, I really do think Sega should be going out to get more companies to make more games for them for Sonic, because it gives them multiple streams of income to get, and it makes the franchise more active. And I don't know how expensive it would be to pitch these games to different companies. So Dimps, for example, made the Sonic Advance games, the Sonic Rush games, Sonic Lost World 3DS. They've not really been active lately on Sonic, so one of my questions right here is, where's Dimps? Why don't you get Dimps to develop a new 2D game or a side game for the current consoles? I know a counter argument to that would be that they mainly developed on the handheld consoles and they probably costed less budget than home console games, but at the same time, games like Sonic Forces and Team Sonic Racing also were budget and only costed $40, just like Sonic Mania. Having a budget constraint isn't the worst. I think Sonic Mania utilized it really well. Sonic Forces, on the other hand, I would kind of disagree and say that it handled it kind of poorly, because you can see where the cracks show of the budget, but either way, it was still a really pleasant looking game, and it wasn't, I guess, totally trash. Though I'm not defending Forces at all, because it definitely needed some polishing, for sure. So if they can apply this budget to these games, then why can't they apply the budget to the outside developers like Dimps and Sumo? Well, they did. They did, in fact, give that kind of budget to Sumo Digital. That was also a $40 game, and you could tell with the reused tracks and models and everything that that game definitely had quite a tight budget. So I can't imagine that Sega is a company that has only this amount of budget for these Sonic games, especially with the movie now. I think now is the time, obviously past the events in the current world right now, that they should be pitching to other companies to make Sonic games for them, and that way they can have multiple games coming through, multiple streams of revenue, Sonic being more relevant. It's a win-win for everyone. It gives people more jobs, it gives us more games, it gives Sega more money, win-win-win. I'm not asking for like 1 billion games at once here. I do not want, let's say Sonic Team for example, to develop 1 billion games every year. No, no, no. I do not want that at all. I just want the other companies to make games like they used to. Like we used to have the Sonic Riders and the Advance and the Rush and the Rivals. We had all of these different games. My big question is, what happened to them? Why can't we get them anymore? So that is the first thing I would tell Sega to do if they were watching this video, is possibly try and pitch out more games to different companies. That way, I listed off all the reasons as to why it would be beneficial. So, first thing there. Now the second thing is something I go on about loads and loads and annoys me so much, and people definitely get annoyed with me talking about it all of the time, but it's the marketing. I think Sega really needs to spend more money on marketing their games, because I don't believe Sonic is a franchise that can sell off of name alone anymore. Team Sonic Racing is a perfect example of this. That game had minimal marketing. It marketed the music for really hardcore Sonic fans, and that's just about it. And the game comes out and it's pretty much dead on arrival. Never got any updates, it didn't sell a lot. Now, don't quote me on this, but around the time of Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel's launch, they said it sold 4 times as much as Team Sonic Racing, which was released a month prior to that, and at that point in time, I'm pretty confident Crash Team Racing sold 400,000 copies. So that means, after a month of the game, Team Sonic Racing sold 100,000. So I would have to guess right now that that game, lifetime total worldwide, was probably around 200,000 copies or so, which I've got to say is not great. In fact, I think that's quite bad, especially for a household name such as Sonic the Hedgehog. And what did that tell me? That they need to spend money on marketing their games. It felt like at a point that I was marketing more than Sega, and when a random YouTuber is marketing a game more than a big company, I think there's an issue. Because Team Sonic Racing honestly was not a bad game, it was quite good. But 2 things killed it. 1, lack of support, and 2, marketing. So, how do you alleviate one of those issues? Market your games. Get other YouTubers early access to the game. Get them to show it off. You kinda got close to this. You got one YouTuber to do it, but then you got Aaron Hansen and took him to Japan and had him make a Big the Cat song, and that was your promotion. That's not good, Sega. I'm sorry, that is not good promotion. It barely had any ties to Team Sonic Racing, and you didn't even give Aaron Hansen any exclusive footage or anything for his YouTube channel on the Game Grumps. The perfect marketing tactic there, in my opinion, would have been if they gave them an exclusive demo for Team Sonic Racing, exclusive racetrack gameplay, put it on the Game Grumps channel. That way, you get their massive audience watching it, and you also get the hardcore Sonic fans trying to dissect the new gameplay, such as myself, who would have probably made news videos on it. So that would have been a big win for everyone, but instead, you decided to meme it up with Big the Cat, and I think that's an issue as well. The social media channels do not promote their upcoming stuff. The Mario & Sonic at the Olympic Games Mobile Edition game with only Sonic barely had any promotion on the official Twitter account. It had the date came out, and I think the date was announced, which was around a year in advance. Other than that, there was nothing. Sega promoted it, but Sonic the Hedgehog did not. That is an issue. They need to promote more stuff like that. Recently we had a Reddit Q&A with someone higher up at Sega managing Sonic's brand. Did Sonic Official promote this? No, they did not. You know who did? The Sonic Movie account. And now that is another issue right there. Why is it that all these other accounts are promoting these Sonic things, but Sega and Sonic themselves is not? That's an issue. So advice number 2, memes aren't bad. I always talk about this, memes are not bad. They can be good, but it cannot be the only thing that pushes your brand forwards, because otherwise you'll just be known as memes and not for good games. I get what they're going for right now. They've got high interactivity with the social media channels through the memes. Okay, it gets really popular. Okay, that's very good. They blew up because of the memes. Fantastic. But the thing I think they need to remember is that memes do not always translate to game sales. And I think that's something they severely need to work on. If they push these memes out, but then also try to shove in the latest game information in between those memes, or make memes on the newest games, booyah, it could possibly work. So for example, you reveal the next modern Sonic game, it looks awesome, looks fantastic. How do you keep people up to date with it? Make a meme every so often. Post a screenshot every so often. Post a music track every so often. It doesn't have to be massive drafts of information, and when you reveal information, it does not have to be massive information at all. Just give us anything. Every 2 to 3 weeks, just give us, this is some concept art from this game. Or, this is a new music track. I wonder where you'll hear it. Things like that. Anything. It doesn't have to be big. Do not leave massive drought between trailers, because that is an issue as well. Team Sonic Racing did the exact same thing, and as I mentioned earlier, that game was a flop. So, Sega, those are my 2 main things for you. Marketing and making Sonic more prominent, making him more relevant, making him more active in the gaming hemisphere. Not just mobile games, not just comics, but actual games as well. Stuff that can push the brand forward, that won't cost you your entire development studio. Just, that's it. That's really all I've got for you guys. I don't know how much I can severely help with this, but I'm just throwing it out there. I could be saying stuff that doesn't make sense, but to me, you used to do it and you were successful. why not do it again? You fell because of Boom. You didn't fall because you had your Generations, your Colors, your Lost Worlds. You failed because of Boom. Lost World, if it was on every other console platform at the same time, I have no doubt it could have succeeded. But because it was a Wii U exclusive and the Wii U was failing, the game failed. And yes, they put it on PC later, but that wasn't enough. Definitely not enough, especially when it came out around 2 years after the game came out. No one's going to be interested because the game is old. That's pretty much my advice right now, because at a point right now, we are really just droughts of news. Obviously, with the current situation in the world right now, it makes sense. I'm not blaming them at this current moment. I'm talking about way before this massive thing came to effect. Sega would just, in my opinion, really dropping the ball on the Sonic franchise. And that just confuses me so much because Sonic Mania was a massive success and then they milked it for all it was worth. They didn't decide, okay, let's try and move on to bigger, better projects. They decided, let's only do Mania because that's all people care about. Guys, if someone buys your game, it doesn't just mean they're only going to be interested in that one specific product, they're probably going to be interested in the franchise again because maybe they think, oh shit, Sega's good again. Booyah, let's go follow what they've got next. But instead, they just went Mania, 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 Mania. And that would be fine if they had anything else in between. But they didn't. They only had Mania, and I think that's an issue right there. You can absolutely spread Mania across the world. I'm not even complaining at that. Just have stuff in between. Just have new things coming out. Because you don't just want to rely on a single game. You don't see Nintendo doing that. You don't see anyone doing that. You just see Sega. And I think that's the issue with Sega, in my opinion. I think that they see something, it succeeds, and they grab onto it with all they can, and they just push it, and push it forwards until it's milked dry. And I think that is an issue. And honestly, you know what I just said? You know where it doesn't actually apply? The movie. They haven't really done anything with the movie, and I also think that's an issue. The movie's coming up. The first design is terrible. Sega are like, oh shit, what the hell are we gonna do? They get Paramount to redo the design. They redo the design, and it's a massive success. Everyone is like, holy shit, this looks amazing now. Sega should have known that the movie was gonna be a success after that redesign. And guess what? It was. It was massive. And what did they do to capitalize off of it? Nothing. They did nothing with the movie, and that was critical. Around the movie's release, they should have had a game. They should have had a TV show. They should have had anything to do with Sonic around the release of the Sonic movie. And what did they have? Nothing. They just shoved in the Team Sonic Racing trailer in cinemas, hoping it would sell the game, and that was it. Guys, the game's old now. It's not gonna sell. So that was a massive deal breaker. They should have definitely pushed more stuff with the movie when Sonic was at his peak relevance. That is the most relevant Sonic has been in ages. That was the biggest success Sonic has ever had in absolutely forever. And how did Sega capitalize? By doing nothing. By standing still and doing nothing. They just left it. Why did they do that? That is something that concerns me too. So, that's everything. I've got all that thrown out there. I just think Sonic needs more relevance, more stuff coming out, and to inform people more via marketing. Those are the things I think are most important to Sonic right now. If I came across as entitled, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to help. Seriously, that's all I'm trying to do. So, that's everything I've got to say. If any of you agree with me, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try and answer as much of your questions as humanly possible. So thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Clap.